Hello, my fellow supports, HotRod08 here, and today we're going to be doing another support VOD review video where every single week you guys send me some of your replays of your own support games, and I choose one of them in order to go over, give some tips and tricks as to what I think you personally could do to do better in your games, and maybe give you a little praise if you do something good as well. But today, we are going to be reviewing I'm Neon's game, which is a Gold 5 player in EU West. So before we get into that, if you want to submit your own games for future possible reviews, click the link in the top right corner of this video or in the description for the tutorial on how to send me your videos. But rather than that, let's get into this game. Alright, so we are getting into this game. So our I'm Neon player is going to be support Shenning today. And in the bot lane it's going to be Shen and Vayne versus Fiddlesticks and Draven. Now, the very first thing I'm wanting to note on this is just how hard of a laning phase this is going to be for both the Vayne and the Shen. With Draven having such a powerful early game and Vayne being arguably one of the weakest early game AD carries out there, as well as Fiddlesticks just having an insane amount of poke even after his nerfs, as well as Draven and Fiddlestick having more wave clear than Vayne and Shen together. This is going to be a really hard laning phase for our support player, our Shen player, but on top of that though, our goal in this lane is basically is going to be getting through this laning phase without dying. If we can get this Vayne and Shen throughout the laning phase without dying too many times and being able to scale, they are going to scale better than the Draven and the Fiddlesticks are. We're just going to have to see how our laning phase goes between these guys. Now it looks like Kane is going to be able to leash himself. He doesn't need the extra leash. It looks like Vayne was going to wait back just to make sure that they didn't know that Kane was on the bottom side, but you guys went forward a little bit. I don't know how much people exactly think about that, and Gold 5 trying to fake where the jungler is, so it's not too big of a deal. But as I said, our goal in this laning phase is basically going to be trying to not get poked down too much. Now, the only way you can actually win this laning phase is by succeeding in an all-in. That's even going to be rather difficult just because of how much damage output they have compared to you guys. I will note here there's a few times in this laning phase that you need to assert your dominance a little more. Like, your Vayne is pretty far forward, whereas you're standing a little bit too far back. You need to be right next to your Vayne position in order to protect her from possibly taking damage. So you need to actually not be standing behind her, because you're causing no presence at all in this lane. Be behind Vayne. You need to be at least on the same level as this Vayne is. I know that you guys aren't gonna, you don't have the dominant effect in this laning phase. That doesn't mean that you need to give up your presence in this lane here. So standing like that, like close to being in that same vertical line, as your AD carry when you're a melee support that has an all-in ability, is going to be how you're going to assert dominance, not standing far back where your Vayne's up here and you're back here, because you're causing no pressure at this point, and this Fiddlesticks is getting free poke on your Vayne at the moment. You haven't done anything in this lane yet. You're just kind of waiting at this point. You're grabbing the minions as you're able to, but you're not causing any pressure. Let's say it. Yeah, like this Fiddlesticks is running up. I'm gonna pause for a second. You know, Vayne was about right here, and Fiddlesticks was running up, and when you're not on the same line with her, you're not causing pressure on this Fiddlesticks, you're gonna, this Fiddlesticks is just gonna poke her down the whole entire time, whereas you're not going to do anything when you're not on the same line. If he gets too far forward, you might be able to taunt in and get a little bit of damage and then back off, make an even trade as opposed to just your Vayne taking free damage. At least make the illusion that you can cause pressure as opposed to just letting them get him get free poke in. So that's going to be the first note that I'm going to be writing down. Assert dominance. In the laning phase. And then, what I mean by that is staying even on the same level as her, not playing behind. Now, Kayn is right there. Looks like he's possibly looking for a gank. Looks like it's not gonna happen though. Nope. Alright. So along with that, stand at vertical line with 80 carry. Alright. So, rather than that, you guys really aren't losing this laning phase that hard. It's not like this Vayne is taking massive amounts of poke, which is nice. Which I'm surprised she isn't. You'd think this Draven would be able to get a little bit, like right there, he could have got free auto attack off on you, and he didn't decide to throw his axe. So I think he's not as good on the Draven as he could be. I think he could be dominating this a little bit more, but that goes in your guys' favor. With that, he's not going to be getting that free poke on you guys. Yep. Yet again, she's playing forward. You need to be standing at that same line with her, so not getting free poke. Now I see, if you're looking at this mini-map, it is looking like Ahri's trying to make a roam. Are ya? Nope, she's not. No. There you go. I thought she was possibly going to be getting at you guys if she did not decide to follow. If you guys can keep this pace, though, without getting all in, Vayne's actually farming out pretty decently. You guys aren't getting punished as much as I think you could be versus a little bit of a better Draven. Now, let's see, it looks like this Draven and Fiddlesticks are going to back, which they themselves should have cleared out the wave before backing. So that's a note for you at least. Make sure if you can safely do it, make sure you clear out the wave before backing, because when them having priority, they really should have pushed you guys in before backing, but that's their own issues, not yours. Okay. I don't. Let's see if I can remember the button. So you have a decent amount of vision with that. To try to push this in, but you don't know what that Pantheon is. Now, he's not in a position to gank at the moment. He is level 6, though, so being that far forward might have actually been a little bit risky. If he would have decided to ult you guys, he might very well have been able to get killed there. As they are walking in the lane, just because of his ability to jump in. You didn't really know where he was, so just keep in mind his global presence in this game. As well as this Quinn is doing pretty bad, but you're also going to have to kind of think if she even has an ability, if she just backed and then decided to roam bottom. You're also going to have to keep that in mind. Man, he just got cashed in from an ult. Well, that's unfortunate. He's going to get a good amount of gold from that. Now, I'm wondering what you're doing waiting here for so long. Now, I'm assuming you might be looking for an ability to use your ultimate. Is that what you're doing? Because I'm confused as to what you're doing. Standing there at the moment. So you just... So what are we waiting for there? So you didn't decide to buy until then. I don't think you should have waited that long. No matter what you bought, I don't think it was worth waiting that long in the laning phase to get back to base. Now, Vayne's not getting punished for it, but especially in a lane you're losing, being your Vayne being 1v2 is definitely scary in your own position to be leaving her alone that long, just because she can get killed pretty heavily by Fill Sticks coming in and then Draven follow up if you're not there to help. And this is gold, so people do make mistakes. So no matter, and what you bought wasn't detrimental. So I don't think there's a reason to really wait that long. It looks like there's a fight going here. Now I do like that you went on the roam. I think that's fine. And they were, your Vayne was smart enough not to die from the Fill 6 ult, which is nice. I'm gonna write down though, don't take so long to buy. Let's see, are you gonna get this? Yeah. That was a good triple block from that Draven. You guys did get the kill, and that went over to the Kayn, which is fine. Probably would be better if your Vayne was able to get it, but still not the worst. So where are you going? Man, that was unfortunate. Now, technically, you probably could have saved her if you used your ult there, but I don't blame you for not thinking that I was going to kill her. So I'm not really going to look into that one that much. But you did technically have the ability to save her if you use your ult just fast enough. Yeah, you guys aren't being too awfully coordinated at the moment. I don't know what that was. Okay, now they're coming in. Now, for some reason, you're the target. Not really sure why. But that was a pretty easy kill for you guys. Okay, so I'm assuming you're just going to go back. Now, I feel you guys really don't know if you want to stay or leave or not. I think you guys are not being decisive. That was a nice taunt flash as long as you don't die yourself. Yeah. Now, it might have helped there. Now, it did work out for you guys. But I didn't see any pings here for you to keep telling them to go forward, like move forward the Shen. Yeah, move forward by Shen. I think that would have helped you a little bit there. In order to give them a little bit more confidence to go forward. Maybe ping your ultimate really fast that you can use it. Remind them that you can save them. But I think ping forwards would have helped there. Now you do really need to get back to base at the moment though, since yours and Vayne's time getting back is going to be so separate. I guess she is waiting a while to buy as well, so it's not going to be as bad. But not wasting too much time when you need to get back to base would be good for you. Alright, so it looks like you finished your Eye of the Aspect. I'm not sure what you're building in the Ruby Crystal. I'll just have to wait to see on that one. I'm surprised you didn't try to get any Moby boots though, or something like that, to get a little bit of extra roam. I would possibly suggest doing that though, just to get around the map a little bit more. You do have your ult, especially if you use it, you need to get back to lane fast. So I think on Shen, getting Moby boots is actually pretty worthwhile, because you do need to get around the map fast, especially if you use your ultimate in a different lane and you need to get back to lane. The extra movement speed will help. Looks like Ari was able to do that on her own. Alright, so you're going in. I don't know. You're winning this trade, but you don't really have allies here with you. I'm not sure 100% what you're doing there, since you don't have the deep vision for that one. It worked out for you, but if that like Syndra was right behind, or that Phil 6 had the ult right next to that, I think you could have died pretty easily there, and you didn't really have any kill potential. So I think that was a little bit more risky than you needed to be. Okay, that's another thing. You just wasted your relic charges on the ranged minions when you had a perfectly nice line of melee minions, which give you more gold. So making sure that you kill the melee minions with those as opposed to the ranged minions can give you some more gold on that. So I'm just still riding the kill those melee minions instead of the caster for the extra gold. I guess you know that Phil 6 is mid. You also should have been able to see Pantheon, so you know the bot's pretty safe. I don't know why this Phil 6 is roaming so much, but that works for your guys' favor anyways. So yep, you're yet again killing those ranged minions, but you really need to be saving those charges for the caster minions. Now you do go for the cannon minion like you should, which is good. But yep, just saving. Ooh, and you killed that. Okay, so you had another one. That's good. Just make sure you save those charges for the melee minions as opposed to caster. You will get some more gold of them. It'll probably be more worth it. Now, I haven't seen you use your ultimate across the map yet. I'm not sure how much you've been looking at the mini-map. I don't play Shen, so I'm not used to looking around the mini-map too much for low-health people. Right here, there you go. I was about to say, like, right there looked like a pretty juicy save. I don't think he needed it, but it's good that you're paying attention. Lets me know that you are being vigilant around looking around the map, which is good. I'm glad to be able to see that. Alright, now it looks like you're wanting to help push this tower, but you really need to be backing. This Renekton can take this tower on his own, whereas you left your Vayne, you need to be getting right back to your Vayne if you can. It might be a little bit late now just because they used the Rift Herald, but you still can make it down to help them. So it looks like you're going for Knight's Vow, which isn't a bad item, especially with the Vayne, which does need to be protected. Yet again, I would be getting those Moby boots earlier than you have been, though. Just because you are roaming a lot on the map. And those Moby boots really would help you get around the map more, influence more lanes at the same time. And use your ultimate across map without getting punished for it because you're not there back in time. Looks like they're going to take this Mountain Drink. I don't think there's really that much you can do at this point. Okay, that was a waste on Phil 6 part. Now it looks like they're going back up. You really should be starting to move your way up here. As soon as they're going to help them. It worked out without you being there, but just make sure you're staying around your allies when it's fine. So you are getting those deeper vision wards, which is good. Your ult is down. You make it up to be able to help. Might have been able to do that without your ignite if you would have not stopped going up, but that's okay. At least you're able to secure the kill for that one. Yep, you need to get back out of that. If it's just you and Renekton, you don't have a lot of priority if you don't know where everyone is. Nice taunt. I was able to get a kill pretty easily on them. Right now, you're back in bomb. It looks like, yep, you finished that. You finished that Knight's Vow, which I assume you're doing after the when I saw the first time. But as I said before, you are so slow around the map. You really do need those Moby boots, and that early Knight's Vow isn't really like, it's not like a critical item spike for you. It's not going to do like a massive amount, whereas those Moby boots would be effective immediately. Now, I'm also not sure exactly what you're doing at the moment. You're just kind of roaming in circles. Okay, going back and hooking that up. I said it's not critical at this point. I think you could have waited a little bit on that one and gone to the action a little bit more, but yet again, it still is working out for you guys. And looks like you're gonna get this tower. Now, if I were you, you need to be warding out for these Fill 6 ults, because you know that this is going to be inevitably coming. When you're on objective like that, you just need to assume that that Fill Sticks is going to hop over walls. So you, as a support, need to make sure that you're warding out clearly. Looking for those opportunities, like where would the Fill 6 ult over, and also between a Fill 6 ult and Pantheon ult together, they do have really good capability of getting picks, so you really do need to make sure you're warding places, make sure your team's not getting jumped on by an unsuspecting Fill 6 ult, because they can do a lot of damage if you're not suspecting it. So let me get those down. Using time wisely, and then now I did realize there when you did back that you had all four of your ults, or all four of your wards up, and you could have spent just a little bit of extra time there getting those wards out placed, looking at the next objectives that are coming up, which you could have seen Baron was up right now, so kind of warding that top side probably would have been your ideal place to go to ward up before backing, so you could have used those wards freely without now having used wards when you came back. That Quinn is getting destroyed. With you being so low health there, as well as kind of the positioning, it might have been a mistake for you to taunt in, just because you really aren't that tanky at the moment, and you build... Whenever you're a support, even if you are a tank, you're really not meant to frontline. Especially Knight's Vow isn't a frontlining item. You're there for peeling, so trying to get a taunt right here when there's 3 other champions around is just going to spell disaster to you, which obviously it did. You ended up dying just for trying to get that taunt there. That wasn't really going to do anything but suicide yourself. I do see you finally got those Moby boots. You should have just gotten those a little bit earlier, be able to influence just a bit earlier in the map. Now that was a good taunt. That was a very good taunt. That was a really nice peel taunt off the Vayne, and she's doing just fine at the moment. Yep. So, that was good on your part. Now, looks like Infernal is coming up. Now I see pings coming out now, but you guys do need to... I see that's the Renekton is asking your first sentence. You need to be the one looking on that map, getting those objectives, especially Infernal. Infernal is such a high priority objective that you have 0 reason to be up here. I don't know why you're up here at the moment. Yeah, there's Baron up, but they have no priority to kill this Baron. You need to be over here on this side of the map trying to kill this, I'm sorry, Mountain Drake. I thought it was Infernal. Nevertheless, Mountain Drake, still an important Drake to get. All the objectives you can get is good. So you being all the way up here when that Drake was up doesn't really make sense. There's not much you're accomplishing up here with no allies there. So just make sure you're where you're supposed to be at to prioritize those objectives. Yeah, she ended up dying. 1v1, you probably could have saved her again with your ultimate. That one's kind of more of a judgment call. I'm not a big Shen player, so I'm not really looking for those ultimates most of the time to save people across the map. But you could have saved her, most likely again, with that ultimate. So using it, when you're Shen support, using that ultimate to save people is probably your priority. So using it very liberally, not being conservative with it, is most likely the correct choice there, because you're not supposed to be split pushing or anything. You're supposed to be there to save lives, and that could have been another case where you could have saved life. Using... Okay. Now, right there, that was pretty risky for you, because you decided, you got a little bit caught right here, and you decided to EN when it was only you and Vayne around. You're lucky you didn't die there. You ended up having to blow your flash to save yourself, but with only you and your ally there, and Vayne not even close, and her not being an early game champion either, it was really risky for you to use your taunt forward, and obviously you got punished by using your flash for no reason there. So that was a little bit greedy on your own part. I don't think there was really a high chance of getting any kills there, whereas there was a high chance of you guys dying there. Now, see again, I'm hoping you're looking up here and making sure that you can use your ult if they need it. Okay, so looks like you're going Aegis of the Legion. I'm assuming with the No Magic Mail, you're going to be going Lock of the Iron Solari. Which... I mean, it's not the worst of choices, but with it being nerfed, I use Lock It very conservatively. I guess with having the Fill Sticks ult on the enemy team, having that AoE shield and that extra magic resist can help, so I'm not gonna, I guess, go against it this game. I can see the reasons why you would take it. I just don't know if I would take it with him being 1-7 and 5. He's really behind, not really influencing the map a lot. So I'm not sure if you needed to lock it although it's not the worst of choice either. With them having 3 people doing AD damage, though, Zeke's might have been a better choice, though, to put it on the Vayne to be able to enable her with a little bit more damage, as well as protect yourself against the more armor threats that are an enemy team as opposed to magic. But they both work. I just think I would have personally gone Zeke's in this case, just because Locket has been nerfed heavily and it's not anywhere near as strong a position anymore. Yep, that was correct there. You end up getting that Locket. So right now, we can actually do the math. You're level 13, so 1 level under. So 30 plus 15 times 13, so 150. 150, so 195. 225 plus 190, so it's a 400, around a 400 shield, which isn't too bad. It just decays fast, and you really have to have the health to use it. Well, you do have some health built in your kit between the Knight's Vow and the Eye of the Aspect, so, and you got another Ruby Crystal. It's not a bad choice. I think I still would have gone to Zeke's, though. So with all the objectives down, you've got another Drake coming up. You got Ocean this time. This seems to be broken. It's always showing Infernal when it's not. Infernal coming up next. With that coming up, though, I would ward a little bit of the top side map and then ping down here, try to get this Drake going. There's no reason for you to be this far forward, getting those deeper wards without your allies there. So that's pretty risky. It looks like he's going Rambo. I'd be telling him to be going back at this point. Yeah, it's just a fiasco at the moment. No one's really coordinating anything. You're not even with your allies at the moment. I'm not sure what you're doing. If they're gonna be up here, you need to be protecting your Vayne, so you're way back. I'm not 100% sure what you're doing back here. But they're doing fine enough that it didn't hurt, I guess, to be back. But you could have been a lot closer, actually put some influence in that. So yeah, it just looks like an absolute fiasco at the moment. I'm not sure what. There's so many deaths and stuff happening at the moment. There's a lot of crazy fights. Do you have a ward left? You have 1 ward left. You do have everything you need ward out. I didn't see them having vision there, so I'm surprised he ulted. Yeah. You taunting forward, that was definitely the wrong call. You need to be getting out of there ASAP. You're being too aggressive with those taunts. You need to play better safe than sorry with those taunts. That was definitely a time where it didn't work out for you. There's another time earlier in this game where that risky taunt did work, but you need to really be playing over the side of better safe than sorry with those taunts, especially if you don't have all the vision, not know exactly where everyone is. And with multiple ults that can like jump over walls like Fiddlesticks and Pantheon. Yeah, he was in that fight, but you know, global ults like that, you really just need to be careful when you're taunting forward like that without all of your allies there. Looks like Yeah, again, it's just kind of a fiasco. It was a really close locket save, almost there, but not quite. They ended up getting an ocean again. They're getting drakes that they shouldn't be. If you guys were playing for those objectives, almost all those drakes should have been on your team. Especially those mountains really would have helped with like barons and stuff. So making sure you're prioritizing those objectives. Now you are going towards baron. With them down, it's definitely a good call. It probably should have gone a little bit faster for this one. I don't think they even have vision of what you're doing at the moment. No, they don't have any vision, so you guys are really safe with that. Now I see there's still some good time left here. You'd think that one last push with pushing outsides would be a win here. Obviously something doesn't go right though, otherwise it'd be too easy of a game. Now I see you go redemption next. And I generally don't like pairing redemption by itself unless we have other healing and shielding items. Just because its power isn't the highest without those extra multipliers. Again, especially when you're a tank support, I think you would have had a better time there going something like Zeke's for the extra durability. Or if you really want the front line, you could go something like Gargoyle Stoneplate to make yourself a lot beefier for front line. I think that would have been better than the redemption here, just because you're not that enchanter, you're not stacking those extra stats for it. You could have gone just a little bit more durable with your items. Now, instead of just getting picks after picks, yeah, you're gonna die, most likely, because of stupidity. Ooh, barely. Now, you need to ping out, get these lanes pushing. You guys are really just wasting a lot of time at the moment. You should have him getting backed out at this point. You guys are just dying to stupid stuff. Yep, you guys are taking too many fights at this point that you don't need to be. And that's about to spawn up. That's not good. Sacrificing yourself. Let me actually kind of want to see what just happened there real quick. How you decide to play that one. I think that's fine. Trying to keep your Renekton alive. I'm not really going to criticize that too much, since you want to keep your other laners alive when you can. Especially since he's 7, 3, and 6, so I think that's fine what you did there. Shen's effectiveness really falls off, though, the later the game goes. Like, it's the same with Phil sticks to it. It's not like he's greatly effective either as this game's going on. But as playing Shen, if you play a lot of Shen, you really need to be trying to close these games out sooner than later. Now, eventually, tank supports will get their win rate back up, but it really takes that way after that 40-minute mark before you do, you know, once you get to those full items, before you're back to that effectiveness. So you really do need to be closing these games out, not wasting time. There's too many fights that are happening. You guys fight way too much. Like 63 kills is crazy, although I could be a little bit biased because playing Diamond and it's not always a kill fest. The longer this game goes, the worse it is for you guys, though. It looks like you guys are going to drop some type of ball soon. It doesn't look like you're going to win this one. I could be wrong. But the longer these games go, the worse off you guys are in a lot of different ways. When you had chances to close the game out earlier, you just need to make sure you're not wasting time. Yep. Yeah. Again, you guys just need, if you lost a player, you need to be pinging your allies to get back. You're taunting forward again. You need to just let that ally die. You need to get out of there. You need to be pinging your allies to get out, because this isn't a winning fight for you anymore. No. Wow. So yeah, but looks like the rest of your team falls. Baron's not up yet. Looks like Elder Dragon is coming up in 45 seconds though, which is not good for you guys. And they're gonna start taking these towers, which isn't good for you either. Yeah, you guys are just goofy. When you're 4-2 and 17, you're thinking, oh yeah, we're so far, and your Vayne is 7-2 as well. You're thinking, oh, we're so far ahead, we're not gonna lose this. Well, you get complacent at that point. And you might lose just because you're getting too cocky and think it's an easy win when you still need to be thinking of ways that you can close out the game. Because this should be a game you guys won really easily, and it looks like you guys are floundering at this point. Now, this is going down, and I don't know, you could have pinged in order to try to get your team to go there immediately, but now they've got those. Remember earlier we talked about those objectives? Those have been really easy drakes. So now, 40 minutes in the game, they got 3 drakes that they should maybe at most had 1 if you guys were just getting those objectives early. Now they have an Elder that has 3 dragons along with it. So it's going to be a pretty strong Elder when it definitely did not need to be, because this is their chance now to actually get back in this game. Okay. Yeah, this is scary for you guys. You need to be stalling out at this point, trying to wait as long as you can. Or getting a pick. Now, yeah, this is one of the few times taunting forward is good. I think that was good. Because getting a pick right there when you had team advantages, that was a good follow-up. That was one of those taunts that I'll agree with. So, pushing out, you really need to be going... I don't know why you're pushing mid at the moment. You really need to be going this Baron. I don't know why you aren't going to this Baron at the moment. I feel like Baron would have been the correct call here instead of this inhibitor. And you could have got the inhibitor afterwards. You do get it, but now you're still going to have to fight in order to get this Baron. In order to get started, where I think 3v5, and you know both junglers were up, but you still had your jungler nevertheless. I think you guys could have gotten that. And they just destroyed her. Destroyed. Now with Kane down, you guys are pretty boned. I didn't see if you got that vision up. You had a ward up when you're leaving. You really needed to place that ward. Oh yeah, and now they're gonna get that. Now they're gonna get that Baron. It's gonna be hard for you guys to. I think this is gonna be the. This is gonna be the closeout. I'm assuming for this one. So they've got their Barons up at the moment. I'm assuming there's gonna be one last fight. Yeah. Really, I think you guys just got complacent. You're ahead You didn't push that lead enough. You picked too many fights without going for the objectives, because you need to focus objectives over kills. That is a lot more important to get those objectives as opposed to getting kills, because that's not what wins you. When getting these objectives, what wins you the games, and you guys just didn't push that lead enough. Yep, and this is where at this point you just have to hold out, but it's really hard with 3 inhibitors down, them having Baron buff. Someone needs to initiate at this point. There's no point. You can't wait. This is the time you need to aggressively taunt forward. There's no waiting anymore. Yeah, and then you guys are in a game that you're 4-3-20, you're now a 9-3-4 Vayne. You guys didn't close out fast enough, you're gonna lose this one. Alright, so notes for this game that I've taken down. Assert dominance in your laning phase. You're standing too far back when it was early in the game. When your Vayne was, let's say, right here, you need to stand like right next to her in that lane, be even maybe a little bit farther forward, but staying at the same line with her to keep that dominance. If they try to do something versus her, you have a little bit of pressure to fight back in the lane, as opposed when Vayne's right here and you're back here. When you're melee, you're doing nothing back here. You're not doing any, causing any pressure. You're not really asserting that dominance. So staying at the same line with your AD carry in the laning phase, that's going to help you. Not taking so long to shop. You took almost more than like 30 seconds standing for what you need to wait at that early of the game. It wasn't a spike that you really needed to wait for, and you really need to get back out in the map. So I don't think you really need to wait for what you wait on so long. Next one is make sure you kill those melee minions instead of the caster minions. They just you get more gold out of them. And there's no rush for you to kill those, so you could have just easily waited for those melee minions to come up and got the better gold there. Getting Moby Boots earlier, especially on someone roaming like Shen when you use your ult and you need to get back to lane, have the extra mobility speed is really going to help you. So with you, I would upgrade to the Targon's Brace and then immediately go for those Boots of Mobility and then upgrade the aspect, so you have the extra roam capability. You can ward out deeper, you can get back to lane more, and you can cause more pressure in other lanes. Using your time wisely, making sure you're not just standing around, doping around. Make sure you've always got some objective in mind, whether you need to ward a certain space out, making sure that different objectives are warded out. Having a plan in mind, don't just stand there, don't do nothing, because there's always something you do. This game specifically warding out for those fill sticks ult. There's a few times to like where you're taking this mid turret and the fill sticks was alive. Instead of you doing more damage to this turret, you needed to go around, actually look for some other place you could ward, just make sure that fill sticks wasn't going to get on top of your team. So having that in mind in those specific type of matchups would be really good. Use your using your Shen ult. Don't use it conservatively, use it liberally whenever it is up. I might have accidentally said the wrong word earlier, but you need to use your ult. Don't hold on to your Shen ult just for that perfect time, especially since you're not that split pusher. You're supposed to be there for support. Using that ult to make sure people don't die, even if you realize it wasn't needed, is still better than not using it all and then your ally dying when you could have easily saved them. So not holding on to your Shen ults for so long. Use it when there is a chance that your ally dies. Don't be better safe than sorry in that. Using your pings, you need to be more assertive when you use your pings. Lead your team into what objectives they need to take when you're going to be aggressive yourself. What parts of the map you need to be going to, what turrets, objectives you need to be going to. Using your pings for all sorts of things. I didn't see too many times that you're pinging that game, so you really need to get up your leadership skills more, get those pings going, and actually lead your team as to what you need to do. Next thing, as I said, I already said be better safe than sorry with ults. Just use it more liberally, not conservatively. Don't hold back on it. these games, you need to close the games and not get lazy. Don't just play around with your food. Actually, in your mind, no matter what point of the game is, no matter how far you think you are ahead, having the mindset to close that game and not just letting time go out and just getting lazy. You're not going to have games like this where you were ahead and you all of a sudden you just made several mistakes and you weren't pushing that lead that you had, and then all of a sudden they were able to come back and get those objectives that you guys weren't able to. And then finally, those focusing objectives over kills. That can go to a lot of different things. There's some fights over here that you really didn't need to be taking when you could have just been pushing lanes trying to get towers instead of just standing back and just trying to get kills. And yeah, it was other allies as well starting fights too. It wasn't just you. One other thing I did, I forgot to write down that I needed to, was better learning when to be aggressive versus running away. There's several times where you taunted into the enemy teams when you didn't have the numbers advantage, when you really needed to run away. So taunting to run away is the better idea. And there weren't too many times where I saw that you didn't use your taunt when you needed to be aggressive, but making sure that you're not taunting to be too aggressive is another thing that you really need to learn when you're being with Shen, especially since that's your main escape tool. If you use that incorrectly and you go too far forward, you're basically going to be dead. Rather than that, that's all the tips I have for you. Hopefully you learned something in this game. And if you're someone else that's watching this tutorial in order to try to better your own game by watching someone else's game, if you want to submit your own game, again, links are in the description if you want to submit one of your own games. But rather than that, you guys have a great day today. Thanks much.